Hey guys, and welcome to another video of The Guide. I'm Benjamin, also known as Tez, and this is not a classic tutorial video, but instead I'm going to show you a whole gameplay uncut with some live commentary and explanations. George has done it before and now it's my turn, and he announced in his video that I'm going to do it as well, but that I'm going to cut it down to certain scenes, and now I decided to show it uncut as well because I think there's so much content in the gameplay itself that it does make much more sense to show it uncut as well. And this is a video format that we want to try out, experiment a little bit with it, and we are very eager or very curious about your feedback, what is easy for you to understand, what you would like to see and what you would like maybe to see in a different way. So leave your comment in the comment section below. And now you may be wondering, why should you watch a video on FIFA 19 when FIFA 20 is going to get released in a few months? Well, this is quite easy to answer because these kind of videos should help you to train and prepare yourself for FIFA 20. Because there are a lot of different concepts and also mechanics that you can train and practice now, incorporate in your game or understand how to apply it, and then you can benefit from it right at the start of FIFA 20. This time you're going to focus on mechanics that are going to help you to design your own play. So you have a safer but also faster build-up play, you have more support of your teammates in counterattacks, and in the end you're going to create more goal scoring chances. And I think there's a very high chance, or I'm very certain, that these gameplay mechanics that we're going to use for this are going to stay the same in FIFA 20. So now you can use the remaining time to practice it, incorporate it in your game, and then use it right away in FIFA 20. So we're going to use 3 gameplay mechanics for this, and we already have dedicated tutorial videos on these mechanics on our channel. So while I'm explaining these in general, you can click in the top right corner, or you can find the link for this tutorial video in the video description. And obviously it's highly recommended to watch the tutorial video, because then it's much easier for you to understand the content of this video and also to apply it and train it for yourself. So the first one is the use of L1 or LB to initiate runs of your teammates. The second one is using the R1 or B button to call for support or assistance of your teammates so that he's coming shorter to you, so that you're able to play a much safer pass. And the third one is to initiate a 1-2 pass by using L1 plus X or LB plus A for the pass. So these are the 3 gameplay mechanics that we want to focus on, and now let's go into the game. Alright, so before we go into the game, I just want to briefly mention a few things. First of all, in the bottom right corner you can see the live controller input. So this is live, and as soon as I do any sort of input on my controller, you can see it. So I know it's very hard to follow the gameplay, my commentary, and also the controller live input. So that's why I recommend to rewatch a certain situation if you're interested in, and then you're able to process it a little better, because then you can focus on a certain aspect and understand what's happening, but it's very hard to follow everything at the same time. So first of all, this explanation, and then here you can see the team that I'm playing with. This is not my main team, but I try to construct a team which is still very good obviously, but is not as strong as my main team and not as overpowered. And then I also wanted to show that I'm going to play in a 4-2-3-1, and you can see I use totally standard tactics. It's balanced, and nothing in particular, nothing very special. Also at the instructions, all of my attacking players have default settings except for the defensive support, which is come back on defense for all 3 of the central attacking midfielders. But attacking wise, everybody is on default. So every run that you're going to see is basically because of my instructions or because of the work rates or of the player itself. Alright, and now let's go into the game. So we found our opponent for this match, and he has quite a decent team, and he got the Tots Neymar as a player pick. This is very, very nice. And also Thiago Silva, so he has a perfect link. Wow, I can envy that. So another thing I want to explain is, from now on I'm going to use L1 and R1 as the description of the button, so not the Xbox terms with LB and RB. And also I'm going to use it in a way that I'm going to say L1 for Cavani, for example. So that way I want to say that I triggered a run of Cavani for attack, and also R1 to my right back, so when he's coming short. So just to make it easier for me to explain what I'm trying to do, because if I always going to say I initiated a run of Cavani by pressing L1, it's going to take too much time to say it, and FIFA is very fast paced, and that's why I will try to make it simple, and I always try to point out when I use these buttons. So I'm switching to my defensive tactic. This is a tactic with a 4-2-3-1, which you just saw. And now let's go into the game. And this is an easy example here. L1 for my left back in this situation. Screwed up the pass to him, but here, just to make sure that I'm using the L1 button to get my right backs and full backs into the attack. So this is a very typical use of the L1 button in these situations. In this case I used the L1 button for the position dribbling, and I'll try to finish this one here. So this was a low driven shot with a perfect timing, that's why it didn't went as low, and it was very powerful. But sometimes I'm using L1 for precision dribbling. We have a tutorial video about this one, and also maybe going to use R1 for drag backs. So just to make sure when you rewatch the scenes with a live controller input, just make sure that it's actually about the player support and not about a different move, you know what I mean? So this was a very good start. Now I can't really go for fast counter-attack, that's why I hold the ball a little bit. And here, initiated the run of Tejas in this situation, but it was not as good because you could see then he was running in a direction that he was a little bit marked, so it's not always as good to use it all the time. In this situation, I initiated a 1-2 pass from Pepe to another player, and that's why he started a run. So I'm also going to do this from time to time, and I'm also going to screw up from time to time because it's also quite complicated to talk all the time and then also to manage to play good FIFA. So here I initiated a run by L1 plus X for the 1-2 pass, but then I also like to follow it up by spamming the L1 button afterwards to make sure that he's actually doing the run, and so that he's following through. Here I called R1 for Pepe so that he's coming short, and that's why I was able to play a very safe pass. Here L1 for the left back, so he's joining the attack. L1 for Mbappe, now he's doing this great run, and maybe I'm not able to score on this possession, but these were two very good examples for the use of L1. First for the left back, then for Mbappe, who was then getting behind of the defensive line. Okay, L1 for precision dribbling. Now I try to initiate a run, but I wasn't really able to play a pass because I didn't have a very good angle. And this is one of the takeaways of this videos for sure, that just because you initiated a run or were calling for support, it doesn't mean that you actually have to play the pass to this player, right? This is very important, because if you see that it's not going to work out, don't play the pass at all. This is very important. And in this case with Di Maria, I didn't have a passing angle, and that's why, well, this referee is very picky, and that, oh, he was offside, okay. And that's why I didn't play the pass. So this is a very important takeaway. Okay, now after the free kick, I like to switch sides. Here now I was thinking about calling for support of Mbappe, didn't do it. Now I try to get Hullet or someone else to do the run. As you can see, now Di Maria was covering or he was doing the run to get in behind on the wing, and it was a very good passing opportunity for me. So this is the power of it. And something that you will also notice here when I'm playing is, now I started a 1-2 pass and played now the pass to Pepe. This is a very good situation to cross on Mbappe, but my timing was not as good on this cross, and for some reason, I don't know what's happening. I don't know. It wasn't offside, so I don't know. Maybe it was a foul, but I wasn't aware. And now I forgot what I was about to explain in the situation before. Very unfortunate, but I think if it was important, it's going to come up in a different situation. Okay, now I was a little bit unlucky to not get the ball. Here, go for shot from the goalkeeper, and now initiating the run of Mbappé with L1 again. So because there was a lot of space and I wanted to make sure that he's going into the space, as the same for Aouar in this situation. Take a look at this situation one more time. It's a very good example because I was in the midfield and Aouar had a lot of space in front of him, and that's why I initiated a run in this situation of Aouar. Oh, this is a penalty. And you don't always have to use it for a player which is in front of you, who's going to get in behind of the defensive line, but you can also use the L1 button or the LB button to make sure that the players who are on the same level as you then join the attack, join your attack to give you some support, give you another option to then go for your attack. So that's why I did it in this situation, and I screwed up with this penalty, but it's not as bad. I will at least get the corner. I really like to go for short corners because then you can outmaneuver your opponent in a 1 versus 1, and in this case I was able to benefit from the cross because I was in a very good crossing situation, and Laporte, I guess it's going to be his debut goal for me. So here this is typical build-up situation where I like to use a lot of L1 R1. In this case L1 of my left back. You saw it a lot of times now. I will try to switch up the play, and here I'm not able to use R1 directly, but I did it now a little bit later. Obviously I'm constructing a little bit these situations. I called R1 now for Mbappé to make sure that the pass that I'm going to play to him is not going to intercept it. So here L1 for Aouar to that he's joining the attack, using the space that that he has right in front of him. So obviously I have to construct a little bit the playing situations because I want to use the buttons. Now I initiated the run of Mbappé, but didn't get in a very good passing situation, so that's why my opponent was able to get to the ball. I tried to make it very, very good, that I initiate the run of Mbappé and then actually use it. But as I explained earlier, you don't always have to use it. Here I initiated the run of Gullit, but a very, very bad pass by Di Maria. I think there was a lot of space to actually play the pass a little bit better, and it wouldn't have been intercepted by my opponent. But stuff like this is going to happen. Now I'm initiating a lot of runs, and as you can see, if my opponent doesn't cover or mark these runs of my players, well, I will try to cancel this because I can't finish from there. I tried to go for a normal cross and then finish with a header, but the cross was not as accurate or not in the direction that I wanted to go, but that's why I tried to cancel and didn't want to go for a shot on goal from this position. So now we are at half time. I dominate the game with 71% ball possession and 94% passing accuracy. But to be honest, I'm not as satisfied with the way I'm playing, but it's very hard to commentate all the time and then also to play fully concentrated. So I'm losing a lot of ball possessions, which I wouldn't usually don't do because I'm not in these situations, or not going to end up in these situations as I do when I try to use L1 R1. Here I pressed R1 to make sure that Pepe is coming a little bit closer. Now I'm not really actually able to, I could have called Mbappé with R1, but he was marked, so it didn't really matter. Now I try to trigger the run of Pepe with L1, try to trigger the run of Di Maria with L1, try to get through, and then the third goal here. So at first I triggered the run with L1 of Pepe, then Di Maria was in a good position to also go onto the wing in the penalty box, and that's why I kept triggering the runs with L1, and then I was able to play 2 good through passes, and that's why I was able to score the goal. So don't have a lot of opportunities here. Now this is a run that I initiated of Di Maria, and unfortunately it didn't go through the pass, but it was still a very good example. So here I triggered the run of Di Maria that he's actually getting behind of the defensive line, and if I hit the right timing, if I hit the right run of my attacker, then there's a good opportunity. So now I have nobody really actually in front of me, that's why I didn't do any L1 initiation. And one thing that you will also notice, maybe this was the thought that I had earlier and that I wanted to make sure, is that I use L1 and R1 a lot of in build-up play situations, when I'm in my own half or when I'm counter-attacking and stuff like that. But as soon as I get closer to the goal, so if I'm around the box of my opponent, I don't use it as much anymore, because then there's not a lot of room to move into, and that's why I don't use it a lot. Here I tried to initiate a run of Mbappé. If you maybe take a look at this situation one more time, and you will see that Mbappé was doing a very good run, but as I didn't have a very good passing situation, I wasn't able to play the pass. This pass, or this run of Mbappé, was triggered with the L1, and I was able to play a nice through pass afterwards. Okay, we'll here get some ball possession. My opponent is putting up the pressure a little bit, and that's why I'm probably going to use R1 a little bit more often. Now I initiated a 1-2 pass with Hullet, but it's always very important, I mentioned this before, just because I initiated a 1-2 pass, for example, it doesn't mean that I have to play the pass. Okay, initiated 1-2 pass of Pepe. There was not a lot of space that he could actually move into, or didn't have a lot of passing space, and that's why I didn't play the pass. Going for a very slow build up, 1-2 pass now here, but very good intercepted by my opponent with Thiago Silva. Try to cover the runs here. And this is something that I noticed when I was recording games like these, so this is not my first try, but is that my opponents here in these games have a league to not cover the runs. So that's why I'm able to usually take advantage of these run initiation quite a lot. And this is definitely a leak that I noticed from a lot of players. Here I tried to initiate a run of Aouar, but it didn't work out pretty good. And this is going to happen. Not every time you're going to hit the player with the initiation that you want to. And sometimes you maybe screw up because of it. But this is a learning process. So this is not a big issue, especially now you're in the end of FIFA 19. As explained in the intro, this is a very important skill, I think, to manage or to learn for FIFA 20 preparations. And in this attack, you saw like 2 passes in the counter attack that I did, which I made sure with L1 initiation that it's going to be that my teammates are doing runs. So in counter attacking, it's very important. I will try to maybe illustrate a little bit more. Here, didn't work out, too bad. But in the attack before, it was a little bit more obvious how I played 2 passes. Oh, I hope it's not a penalty. Oh, fair tackle. That I played 2 passes. Here are 1 of Mbappé, and as you can see now, there's no competition for him with his opponent, that he's in a struggle to get to the ball before the opponent, right? It was a very good example. Let's do it one more time here, but this time the situation is not as good as before. But now I initiate a run of Mbappé, so he's joining the attack. Aouar now is joining the attack. Pepe L1 initiation, waiting for the moment of the pass. Aouar is in the background. And I was trying to see if there's another passing opportunity. That's why I screwed up the finish a little bit, but I think it was a very good example. First of all, the initiation of runs for Pepe, then how I made sure that Aouar is joining the attack, and now Pepe is doing the run. Tried to play the through pass, didn't went through. I wasn't in the best passing situation. But I guess these were quite good examples. You can see how much you can design your play. This is like one of the main things that I want to make sure is how you can design your play. 1-2 pass initiation now of Pepe. You can see alert out the opponent a little bit. Now I have a lot of space on the wing with Pepe. Di Maria is now getting in behind. Go for the El Tornado. Oh, I wanted to go for the El Tornado cross. Ended up with the McGee spin. The El Tornado cross would have probably resulted in a goal in this situation because there was so much space in the penalty box. And yeah, you can design your play. You can make sure that you get the support of your players. Now I just went for an R1 calling for support of Mbappé because I didn't saw a possibility that he's actually able to go through. That's why I called for support, so I was sure to play a safe pass to him. So you can design your build up with these buttons, and they're going to be as important, at least from my imagination, in FIFA 20 as they now are in FIFA 19, and that's why there's definitely time for you to practice this and to get better in FIFA 19 so you're fully prepared for FIFA 20. I think this gameplay shows very good how much power there is in these mechanics, how often you can use it, and that it's worth it to train it and to incorporate it in your game at the moment to be ready with it in FIFA 20. And now we are asking for your feedback. What do you think about this format? Do you think it's a little bit too long, or do you like it to have a full gameplay without any scenes cut out? Would you like to have an analysis at the end of this video as George did in his version? Let us know your feedback in the comment section below, and we would like to try out different things in this phase where we wait for FIFA 20. And this is also a good keyword, because you should subscribe to this channel and also activate the bell to not miss any of the upcoming training videos for FIFA 20, but also, and obviously, FIFA 20 itself. The newest information about the game, our first experiences as soon as we have our hands on the game, and also the first tutorial videos on FIFA 20. We want to provide you the best way to learn the game, so don't miss out on this content. Now we are at the end of this video. In the end card you're going to see 3 videos, and these are the dedicated tutorial videos about the mechanics used in this game. So if you want to see one of these tutorial videos, just click on it. And if you liked this video, if it was helpful for you, please leave a like. Your support is highly appreciated. Thanks for your attention. Keep a clean sheet. I'm out.